Here we are at the bottom of turn 2, the end of the Salamander's turn. And over here, this Dreadnought turned around and fired a multi-melta into the drop pod and blew it up. Over here, we had the Land Raider fire its twin-linked assault cannon, multi-melta, and this guy right here fire his plasma cannon, all at the Death Company, and he picked up all of the normal Death Company that were left. So now there's only 3 power weapons, the Chaplain, Librarian, and Mephiston hanging out behind. Over here, we had this Rhino have the guys inside use the access points to fire a multi-melta and a melta gun, and only ended up shaking the Ball Predator. And over here, this Rhino was weapon destroyed. And now we're to the top of 3. Here we are at the end of the Blood Angel's 3rd turn, and over here we had the assault squad move up and fire meltas at the Salamander's Rhino and only ended up shaking it. We had some assault cannon fire from this Ball Predator and this Razorback at some of the vehicles back here and did nothing. But as you can see over here, my Death Company raged up to the Predator and then assaulted it. The Librarian used Sanguine Sword and cut it in half. Mephiston ran up to the Land Raider that had the open assault ramp, but they closed it hoping he wouldn't get in, so he cut the vehicle in half and destroyed it. And that's the end of Blood Angel's turn 3. Alright, here we are at the end of the Salamander's 3rd turn. Over here, Mephiston took 2 wounds from a multi-melta from this Dreadnought, and the Stormbolter shot him in the back and caused another wound. And over here, we had the Salamanders hop out of that Rhino back there, the tactical squad. They rushed up, fired some weapons, killed a guy, and charged the assault squad, and they only... actually, nobody killed anybody. There was a draw. And that was the end of the turn. Here we are at the end of the Blood Angel's 4th turn. Over here, we had the guys that hopped in the Rhino that I didn't say last time. The Rhino turbo boosted over here and is going to try to get them near that objective. Over here, we had this assault cannon, that assault cannon, and that assault cannon fired this Dreadnought, blew off its multi-melta, and immobilized it. And over here, the Death Company raged into the Rhino that was over there, assaulted it, blew it up, and lost a Death Company member. And the guys are now chilling outside of the Rhino, ready to shoot the Death Company up. Over here, more assault. Lost 3 Blood Angels guys, and the Salamanders tried to chase down the Blood Angels after they failed their leadership test, and I lost another model out of it. And that was the end of that turn. Alright, here we are in the bottom of the Salamander's turn 4. Over here we had this Vindicator pop out of the bridge and pop smoke. We had this Dreadnought, this drop pod, that Rhino, and all sorts of other crazy stuff fire at Mephiston, and he is still alive. Right there. Oh yeah. And then over here, assault, nothing really happened. I lost by 1, but they stayed. And over there, I lost my Librarian. And that was the end of the turn. Alright, end of Blood Angel's turn 5, and let's see. This assault cannon, this assault cannon, this assault cannon, and these 4 missile launchers fired at this Vindicator, and as you can see, only shook it. But at least it can't fire. And in the assault phase, I lost a Death Company member, and he lost a guy or 2, and combat was drawn. And in this combat, Mephiston charged in over here, killed 5 guys, and the Power Fist that was left in the Salamander unit, along with a couple other guys, did their attacks on Mephiston and took his last wound. I won combat, but he passed his leadership test, and I am now right back where I started with a dead combat over there. And that was the end of my turn. Here we are at the end of the Salamander's 5th turn, and over here, Chaplain killed a tactical marine and didn't take any wounds back, so I won, but he passed his leadership. Over here, my power weapon finally hit after I don't know how many rounds of combat they've been in. Finally killed a guy, but I lost a guy in return, so it was a draw again. And that is the end of the 5th turn, so we're going to go ahead and roll the die and see if the game continues. And it does not. And here we have one objective scored by the scoring unit that is in that rhino. And then over here, we have a tactical marine within 3 inches of this objective, and that is also considered scored. So the game ends 2-0 Blood Angels.
Alright, so I thought it was a pretty good game and went pretty good, other than him immobilizing my Land Raider first turn. I kind of sucked, couldn't do anything much with it. And then another thing I saw was I needed a Librarian in there to try to cancel some powers, because those invulnerable saves or cover saves and those strength 10 shit is just obnoxious, and he was just free reigning that, all that stuff. So tweaked the list a little bit. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So
Alright, Tony wants to go home, so I'm going to make this quick. It was a great game, had a lot of fun. There weren't any really crazy die rolls, so everything was pretty consistent. Ball Predators underperformed, which is sad because they usually do like really well. My Twin Linked Assault Cannon Razorback did awesome. Blew off weapons here and there, mobilized this, shook that. Did better than my Ball Predators, which is ridiculous because the freaking Razorback only has 1 weapon and is armor 11, so whatever. The Devastators, they did okay. I'll use them again. I'll give them another chance. They were alright. Let's see. Mephiston, of course, performed amazingly well. He cleared 3 or 4 units on his own. But the MVP of the game was definitely my Death Company unit. When they assaulted over here and took out the Thunderhammer Stormshield Terminators, I think that definitely changed the game, and it was awesome. I did 16 power weapon wounds. That's ridiculous. So it was a great game. I'm going to change up a couple things, like I said, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Alright, also I forgot what really changed the game is this rhino right here that was carrying an assault squad to this objective. I had rolled a repair roll when it got mobilized early on in the game. Rolled a 6, and that's what allowed me to get my assault squad from this side of the table over here and score that objective for me. So that was also really, really cool.